The RRT Boxing Show, Season 4, Episode 3. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome on back, you boxing junkies. Welcome on back. This is the Boxing Rehab known as the RRT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. I'm just a friendly janitor who fucking runs and cleans the facility. You're the boxing junkie with me. Come on into the meeting. If you haven't already came into the rehab center, feel free to check in at the front desk when you want. Until then, if you checked in already, hit the thumbs up, support the center. Now, this is episode 3. You know how we do it. If you tuned into episode 1 and 2, give it a little boxing topics, daily news, and then we just grab some topics and we talk. Today's we're going to get some daily news in. Then we're going to talk about the WBO. The WBO champions, what they offering this month, and then just overall the WBO. That's what today's episode is going to be about. So going into it, I've been repeating it. I seriously doubt many new viewers are catching these episodes. But if you are a new viewer, what we do on the RRT Boxing Show, Ready Talk Boxing Show, we talk the best versus the best, 1 through 15, bring them up, get the knowledge on them. I'm a junkie just like you. I'm a fan just like you. I started the show 2 years ago, and then as they get the title shot, we at least know who they are. So that's a quick little rundown. If you want to know more about the show, keep tuning in. Hit the thumbs up, share them, follow me on Twitter at RRTV Show. I go on there once in a while, spit a little spit spat. Now the daily run around, the daily mixer. I gotta say, the news that kind of caught my attention, and I'm happy with it, cause, and I would get into a reason of why I'm happy for it. Now, what's his name? The flipping kid, Teofimo Flip the Kid Lopez. He's coming out saying, if my head ain't right, there won't be no Richard Commey fight. Now I'm thinking, is this just his way of? They need a new way of promoting. Yes, ESPN displayed all the family fuckery that's going on in his camp. Money and business and family all mixed in. It's getting fucked up. It's pulling them this way, pulling them that way about marriage and business. So yeah, it can be fucking his head up, or it's maybe a new way of promoting the fight. The dads talked a lot, and do with the subpar performance of the Japanese guy, was it Nakatani? So you can't just go around talking brass. So maybe if you go around saying, "Hey, we might not fight all together," you get people talking. You get the mass talking like, "No, we want the fight. We want the fight." Maybe that's their way of promoting that. That's what they're hoping for, to get some sympathy promotion for this. Because everyone's saying, it's not everyone, but it's a high talk that now went from like, oh shit, Commey might fuck Teofimo up, and then it's like the side of saying, hey, Teofimo just had a tall opponent. That's all it is. Now the reason why that news struck me and I was excited for it, because I don't want to see that fight anyway. I don't care for that fight. I myself, I wanted Beltran's first defense to be in Ghana. Then he came and he defended against Beltran, which I get it. You states promotion, big him up. Ultimately, they're trying to get a unification fight. Well, they're not even trying to get a unification fight with Commey. They're just trying to use him as a stepping stone for Teofimo Lopez, if you really think about it. So they're trying to get a popularity on Commey. So when fucking Teofimo Lopez, they hoping beats him, their fight at Teofimo Lopez looks spectacular. Now, all that plan for ESPN, Top Rank, and all that, I wanted to see Mr.A right here on the RRT Boxing Show. You know, if you've been following the show since season 1, you should came across me saying a few times of boxing crowds and what cards I like to watch because of the atmosphere and the card and the arenas and the crowd participation. You know, when I do my full fight card reviews, that's one of the aspects I add into the scoring system, the crowd participation and the camera. Now, one of my favorite spots, the favorite spot to view fights from. You know, I always say England got one of the better crowds. Even though Japan's kind of modest in a way, nice in behavior, their crowd participation is great. But my favorite place to watch fights, it sucks because it doesn't get much better than like B level domestic fighting over there. But I like watching Ghana fights, Ghana boxing. The crowd gets into it. It's in a very small arena, so it's very natural looking. Sometimes it's even outside of some shitty ass places, so it just has a nice. I should say shitty ass places, but something we're just not accustomed to seeing as a states boxing fan or other countries. It's small places, and then the fans, the crowds is just into it. The support is there, and then they start playing the beats and the drums, and they got the little music, and that's what I like. It gives me as a fan pumped up to watch it. I like how they pump that fucking drums. The whole fucking fight, you hear in the background. Sometimes you can tune it out because you're just so busy watching boxing. But also once in a while you'll find yourself, and there it is, that fucking drum beat going. They be pumping that shit. Now, I wanted to see Richard Commey's first defense in Ghana for that reason. I think it would have been fucking off the Richter scale. It would have been lit. The people would have been going crazy for Richard Commey. You see how he dances after he fucking beat Beltran. You know, now put the fucking drums, a home defense. It would have been crazy. Now, what gets even better here? What gets even better is if there's no Richard Commey and Teofimo Lopez. You know, that fight was, you know, supposed to be going on while Lomachenko Lomachenko's fighting this at the end of this month. And then there was supposed to be what was that fight supposed to be? December or something like that? Commey and Teofimo Lopez, who I would love to see. Now this is iffy because he's the number 1 contender for the WBO slot, and that is Game Boy Emmanuel Tago. I've been saying it, man. Lopez is fucking having mind games. Let Emmanuel Tago get that shot. Richard Commey, Emmanuel Tago, 2 Ghanaians going at it in Ghana. It will be, I think it'll be off the chain. I think, you know, I don't know if ESPN will pick it up, we'll get to see it. I'm pretty sure that fight will be put on YouTube as well. But it has to be in Ghana. That fight has to be in Ghana. Get the drums rolling. Get them banging. The whole crowd. Like I said, I don't know where that fight will be held at in Ghana. It'll probably be held in one of their nicer places because that's a big fight. But I'm thinking that'll be a big event in Ghana. You know, I don't know what sports run the country. I don't know if it's a soccer country, a football country. Is boxing its main sport. So I don't know how well it is, but I know they do both out there. But that was a nice little news. I was like, oh shit. I got kind of excited hearing that. I was like, oh man, are we going to get the Game Boy? Are we going to get the big Ghanaian showdown? I hope so. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it somehow slides into Ghana boxing, Commey Game Boy. I hope somehow it slides in there. And other news, some DAZN news. Uh, we all kind of penciled it in there, kind of thinking like, okay, yeah, it's gonna happen. Vargas and Munguia, it just stalls. Why the fuck? You know, why? What the hell happened in that shit? It was looking good, you know. And I actually had I actually had Vargas winning that fight. I actually thought he was gonna win that fight. Just a lack of negotiations. Now this is weird. See, Hearn recently teased that have been like now let's see this. Hearn recently teased his intentions to have unbeaten lightweight Devin Haney in 14 days. He was born and raised. Once it became clear that they will no longer be occupied with. All right, now, if Munguia and Vargas ain't happening, and then you hear Cannelo got stripped of the IBF belt, and he said he didn't know what the hell Golden Boy matchmaking was signing. He wasn't unaware of it. So right now, what the fuck is happening at Golden Boy? You know, like if you can't make that's two. Well, one is with Matchroom, and the other one they didn't get was at PVC. Now, I gave my opinion on why they kind of gave up the IBF belt, but hearing Canelo say he had no clue about it makes you wonder. Man, but I still think they kind of gave up that belt hoping Triple G. DAZN's kind of betting on Triple G to win that belt so they could look sexy for a trilogy fight, a belt versus belt, Triple G, Canelo again. That's what I'm thinking. Now, as far as this Jaime Munguia, there's no. Where the fuck was Jesse Vargas? He's not even in the 154. Is he still at the 147? At number 2 for the WBC. At number 2 for WBO Terrence Crawford. Why would you, unless you feel you could, like I said, he could beat Jaime Munguia. You know, Eddie Hearn's like, fuck it. Fuck that fight. Start talking Terrence Crawford. We just worked with Matchroom and Design Top Rank. Hey, Terrence Crawford needs opponents. Want to fight Jesse Vargas? You want to fight Jesse Vargas? You know, you need opponents. You know, because speaking like of opponents, and that's a perfect way we will. We're gonna do one more little talking, because like I said, it's all ties beautifully into what we're gonna get into, the WBO. Okay, we will start the WBO off with a nice little what they say, more news. WBO 168 champion Billy Joe Saunders separated from Frank Warren, citing, I just can't get momentum with this. You know, I like Frank, but the fights I want aren't happening, and I can't get momentum. So, you know, out there in the rumor world that he's going to sign with Matchroom, and there on the zone, you figure he wants that Kellum Smith fight, and that's where it's at. That's the big unification fight. And he always got the option of fighting Demetrius Andrade, so he has 2 fights out there. And if he can get down to the weight, he could fight a Triple G. He could fight a Saul Alvarez on the zone. So it's a better option for the champ, I think, Billy Saunders, considering if he stayed on the top rank side on ESPN with Frank Warren, what is he doing? What is he doing? Like I said, certain divisions or really just top rank period. You know, they got pretty good 140 kind of and down. Top rank got some good stables. They could get a good fights. But up until from 140 up until like 170, what are they on? They on 175. But up until then, top rank gets a little like their stables is having some tough fights. Tough fights to have a career, I should say. Not tough fights, but it's tough to get a nice career. You know, and unfortunately 47, 54, 60, you know, those are the hot weight classes. 68 kind of creeping in there because of Canelo, you know. But those 3, 47, 54, and 60, that kind of pushes boxing. It's like the engine of boxing right now. Besides the heavyweight. Heavyweight is always fucking some burning coal. Always. You know, now you got the names, and that's all they needed. Now, as far as Billy Joe, it's a good business move. Once the WBO 168 champion, you figure Zach Parker, Romero Angulo, Vincent Feigenbutz. I want to see him fight, man. He has a fight coming up on, I think, 24th, something like that. Dude, like I said, the WRT boxing show is the best versus the best. You know, 1 through 15. And Vincent Feigenbutz he has he has the top spot in the IBF for Caleb Plant. You know, that's because he turned down that mandatory spot down, and it went to Peter Quillen and Truex for the eliminator. It's supposed to be Vincent Feigenbutz. I wonder why he's still 3 if he turned that shit down, but he's number 6 by the WBO. You got Willie Monroe, who is the only place he's listed, even though he's suspended by the California. Who was it? California State like 2020. One of the athletic commissions suspended him for like 2020. But Jürgen Bermenheimer or Bermier, like I said, the 168 is still slim for him, but at least on the zone, he's going to have more big names over there. And if worse comes to worse, Eddie Hearn keeps you fucking active, dude. He keeps you active, and you will get paid. So, and Billy Joe wants momentum, and we saw what happened with Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer kept busy. It kept him loose. It kept him he kept to the point where he kept looking like he was improving every fight. And we've seen Billy Joe Saunders look like shit, look sharp. So we don't know what Billy Joe Saunders it is. We don't know what the inhaler was doing to Billy Joe Saunders. You know, so we really need a 2-fight streak to see what the fuck Billy Joe Saunders is, because I think he's that Lemieux performance. I think that's him. You know, I'm willing to, when I make predictions, bet on that Lemieux. You know, that Lemieux. I mean, that Saunders, the younger Saunders with the Eubanks. That's still evolved into the Lemieux. So I'm still betting on that's who it is. But we haven't really seen a two-fight streak to tell us that's who Billy Joe Saunders is, and still like he's going to remain. So there you have that. Is there any other news we should talk about before we go on? Oh, and let me get something to drink real fast. Let me get something to drink. Don't you hate that shit when you leave your drink like across the fucking way? Other hot news. Little confusing, you know. Oh, sidetrack. You know, Marcus Brown saying Canelo don't want none. See, that is why I hate when people do this Final Fantasy, type shit. Like, yes, I have a segment called The Fight Maker, and it's, putting people up about one weight class down one weight, about making good fights. And the fact that Canelo called out Kovalev at 175, well, you had Bivol call out Canelo, like, fuck, dude, I'll fight. I need a fight. I even dropped down to 168 to fight you. Now you got Marcus Brown, like, hey, bro, you don't want none of this at 175. Like, you can't give yourself a public label of a just straight cherry. It got a media, what's the word, backlash when Triple G, that's how they were promoting him, saying, oh, he'll fight anyone from, 154 to 168. That's when Lara called him out. That's when Andre Ward called him out. But, he picked Frotch and he picked Chavez. But the two names that people gave respect to, they called him out, and there was a no answer. So Bivol calling out Canelo, like, hey, you called a 175 here. What about me? I'm a champ. I'm a 175 champ as well. Fight me. I'm a 175 champ. You called out a champ. I'm a available champ. You called out a champ who's in the middle of a fight negotiation that you're trying to break up. How about you fight me? I'm on the same network as you. I have a belt. You want to get a 4th division champion or 5 division, whatever the fuck. Hey, come get me. No reply. You got Marcus Brown, like I said. Good fight. I think that's a good fucking fight. I don't want to see these Final Fantasy fights, but once someone starts opening their mouth and putting themselves in that situation, that's a damn good fight, Plus, it has that high on your edge seat because Canelo's going up. Even though he's we know he walks around heavy, but fighting at that heaviness against a natural light heavyweight, he's going to come even heavier in the ring. It's very, very, very interesting. Is this some type of future build up to Roberto Ramirez and a Canelo at a 175 fight? Could it be? But anyway, I liked hearing Marcus Brown call him out. Like, hey man, if you're gonna call out one, you fighting us all, dude. Fuck that shit. No cherry picking. But also the other hot news, which is confusing. Like I said, it's confusing. The Dillian Whyte passes a VADA test. Now, did they say the test was, excuse me, was what, the 17th and the 21? Something like that? Where's that? Now, it sounds good, like, oh, the 17th. That's what everyone is hearing. Yeah, it's okay. The final was participants were collected on the 17th, and the post-fight sample was collected on the 21st. So everyone's like, oh, well, how can he pass one test on from VADA and fail one on UK? But the UCAD results was received on the 17th. It's talking about he failed the test in June or something like that. And now Nevada, so basically it just happened to be a coincidence that the day they receive information on one test, they take another test from another company. It's not he took the test on the same day he passed one, so that's why they're saying like, hey, yeah, he passed one test. It's clever, it's a very good distraction of how to like kind of maybe trick and cloud your mind on it. Like, hey, he passed VADA. He passed VADA. Yeah, he did, but he's busted the month before. The shit's out of his system by the time he got in July. So it's interesting to see how that goes. Are they just gonna sweep this under the rug and hey, we couldn't do it. He passed our test. The WBC's like he passed us. So, hey, if he passes all this drug shit, he should fight Wilder after Ortiz. You don't go through this much trouble passing a drug test, all this investigation on him, and then make him wait after Tyson Fury too. At the WBC, he'd be like, "No, I get it, Wilder. You want to fight Fury, but we just do a lot of shit with this fucking guy. Investigation. He wants to be the interim. He wants his shot. We as an organization, we'll give it to him. Through all this more order. Beat his ass if you want. So, but I still think he's guilty. I'm still going down with him as a failed drug test for a PED substance, a banned PED substance. Because again, he passed a test that was after the failed drug test. So it doesn't really mean shit. It's just hoopla to confuse you. Now, onward we go right here on the RRT Boxing Show. For those who are tuning in, watching the show, tuned in, hooked up, drooling out your mouth, or you're a boxing junkie sitting in the meeting here, thank you for your time support. If you haven't checked in at the front desk, do that. Hit the thumbs up. And here we go. Doing what we do, talking that talk, right here on the Ready Talk Boxing with your host, Mr.A. From me to you, back to the show, because it's your show, the RRT Boxing Show. WBO. We're going to start at the bottom. Start at the top. The WBO champions, because we're going to do WBO rundown. What's it looking like? Because they got a pretty busy month this month. And if they ain't got fight, if their champions ain't fighting, they got high ranked fighters fighting, and they got some noise going on. So we know about Andy Ruiz. We know what he's doing, but he's holding it down like, hey, I ain't fucking fighting in Cardiff. We fighting. He wants to fight in run it back in Square Garden, Vegas, or the Staples Center. Now I don't know if because it's Sean Porter and Spence is Staples Center, right? Wilder and Louise, I think, is Staples Center. Now, if Ruiz and Josh will come to Staples, that'd be like 3 big fights. That I just don't know if LA is going to have that many open dates. All before they're going to squeeze all this in before basketball. I don't know. But then you have the WBO number 2, Tyson Fury, coming out saying he's fighting Otto Wallen. And the rumor said that if Otto Wallen if Otto Wallen wasn't it was between Duhapis, Duhapis and Junior Foy. Now, I was joking around, and I think I put on Twitter. I think it was to the Good Man Boxing Squared. Go subscribe to his channel. Uh, about Junior Fa's victory. I was like, did we just see Junior Fa earn a lineal championship? He almost got it. He almost got it. I knew they were gonna look at his ass, but they ended up going with Otto Wallen, probably because he was on American TV. You know, even if it was only for a little bit, he probably has the better name, and obviously he has the higher ranking spot out of any other guy. But yeah, Otto Wallen, he was on American TV for a little bit before his fight with Nick ended in the headbutt. So for a brief moment, they have a view of him, you know, better than Junior Fa, who was on an app, considering Tyson Fury's going to fight on the app as well. But Otto Wallen, number 4 by the WBA, and Tyson Fury is not in the WBA at all, so maybe this is a get him over there in a rankings fight. So that is the WBO heavyweight champion, and like I said, you got Alexander Usyk. He's ready to fight. Like I said, to me, I want to see Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. That's what I want to see. You know, you got the great lineal champ versus the fucking super duper pound for pound king. The greatest championship that includes no belts match ever in the world of boxing. I want to see that shit. You know, with Tyson Fury take it on. Put that shit. Where is Usyk at? Is Usyk on the zone? He's with Matchroom. And then you go on down to the cruiserweight. The good old fuckery in the WBO that got Miras Briedis a championship. I feel sorry for Golovkin, but I'm glad that the WBO already came out and said, hey, that was some fuckery in that fight. Regardless of what happens in that WBSS tournament, you guys are going to have fucking like 3 months to get your shit together and fight Golovkin. Whether it's Dorticos, Briedis, someone's fighting Golovkin in 3 months to give that fool a fair shot. I'm glad of that. I'm glad he's going to get an opportunity to win or lose, because he should at least get a solid 5 minutes. We saw him get elbowed. We saw the fight after the bell. Now, as far as the cruiserweights themselves, even though we're just doing WBO, where is the sauce at? There he is, Lawrence Okolie at number 5. I am a Lawrence Okolie fan. I like his raw and ruggedness, but ultimately I like how it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly, beautiful thing to watch. He slows the fight down. He just makes it his fight. He stinks it up, but he controls it with some nice jabs, body jabs, and you know that's the double RT punch. That's the double RT boxing punch right there. Mr.A.'s favorite punch is the body stab jab. I love that jab. And big ass Lawrence Okolie, he does it. Now at number 5, I would like, you got Golovkin number 1, Imre Cizlo. I'm about to watch this guy, Imre Cizlo. I'm about to do a research fight on him because he's fighting an opponent who's fighting Charles Foster. And I know we're going off something. I mean, I said we're talking WBO, but hey, the Ready Talk Boxing Show, it does that. So Charles Foster is number 8 in the WBA, and he's an American light heavyweight. So, hey, I'm American. I gotta try and just for my sake of liking boxing. I want to root for my American fighters, and I want to know more. All I know is Marcus Brown. Jesse Hart just moved up to light heavyweight. So, hey, we got another one. Fucking Charles Foster. I seen him on PBC, I think it was. He was victorious. I liked his linkiness. I like how he stayed on the outside, banged in the inside when he had to. So I'm like, all right, if I could follow him, if I could find him on YouTube. I've been trying to track him down since that fight, but I see he has another fight coming up the 21st against some guy, but I forgot. The fight I'm watching, the opponent had a fight against Emery Silo. So it turns out to be Emery Silo is number 2 as a cruiserweight in the WBO. So I will be checking him out to further my knowledge on him, because I'm a boxing fan just like you. Lawrence Okolie, he has to act. Like I said, he's in a real tough spot. Do you continue to build yourself up, sharpen your craft? I think he has a WBA, Intercontinental, and what belts do Lawrence Okolie have? Let's just check this out real fast. Lawrence Okolie. Emery. The fight I'm going to watch is Emery Shilo versus Dennis Grachev. Dennis Grachev is fighting Charles Foster. So I'm going to do I'm doing a breakdown prediction on that fight. So here we are. We're going to see Lawrence the Sauce Okolie here. Where is he at? Ratings. I got that big ass print on my phone. I feel like I'm fucking blind over here. I gotta change that shit. Alright, let's see where we're at. Lawrence Okolie. On BoxRec, he is number 7. And the belts he has. Alright, he has the WBO Continental. Alright. The WBA Continental, he has British Commonwealth and the British. So, at number 5 on the WBO. So he has to do something, because in the cruiserweight division, it's open. It is open. You got Dorticos with that power. You got number 2 Lawrence Okolie. You got number 1 Ryan Murray, and then just bumped up to full champion. No one's even talking about this. Is Gulomarian. We covered him like 2 or 3 times on the show. Trained by Abel Sanchez. A very, what can you say? A very poor version of Murat Gassiev. Poor version of him. It's Abel Sanchez fighter. He fights like Triple G, fights like Murat Gassiev, comes forward and just tries to fucking break you down. But he is the full cruiserweight WBA champion, because when Lebenev tried to come back as champion recess to get the fight with, he tried to come back for that money grab, and Usyk said, "Fuck you, man! I ain't got shit to prove. I'm beating you. I'm going up to heavyweight." Lebenev said, "I retire then. I can't get that money grab." So Lawrence Okolie is number 2. He might just get a title shot sooner than his camp is ready for. So from the cruiserweight Maurice Bredis, we go on down to the light heavyweight WBO champion Sergey the Crusher Kovalev. Now this is starting to catch up to Kovalev. His competition is looking like it might be something. It's getting a little heavy up there for him. Now you figure with Vazdik and Beterbiev finally locking it down, it left Bivol out in the dark over there on the zone by himself. So he's on no man's island. Who knows? The only thing about the zone, it keeps you busy, but you fight worldwide competition. That's kind of cool as a boxer. I like seeing that worldwide competition shit. I like seeing the best fight the best. Like I said, to me, it's 1 through 15. You knock number fucking 2 out because he sucks. Hey, shouldn't have been number 2. I don't mind seeing that. You know, sometimes I bitch and whine about it because I'm a fan too, but at the end of the day, I'm cool with it. Now, when those people who aren't ranked kind of just slide it, or when you constantly seeing a champion or some high profile fighter constantly fighting the bottom of the barrel, it's like, bro, we were cool when you fought number 12. We kind of slid back when you fought number 8. Now you're going back to like 14. That's when the shit's ridiculous. Like, oh, he's fighting ranked fighters. He's fighting, he's fighting in the top 10. He starts fighting 9 and 10. And he's fighting like, no. Some of it's okay, but as a WBO champion, Sergey Kovalev, got Anthony Yarde. Like I said, Anthony Yarde with this fight coming up. Then you have Herberto Ramirez, Dominic Bessel. You know, that's who Kovalev I bet you wish he could fight. And then this fight, I like watching the fight, even though I think Kovalev would knock his ass out. He's a Russian guy as well. Umar Salamov. I think that he'll get knocked out. Now, as far as number 5, you got Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart moving up. I think he's too small for this division. I think he uses too much energy for this division. Now we're gonna see if he fills out in his next fight. We'll see. But as far as Sergey Kovalev and Anthony Yarde, they're gonna have Herberto Ramirez right on their ass. Right on their ass. And if Anthony Yarde wins this fight, like I said before, I used to lean quickly with Anthony Yarde, you know, like, oh shit, you know, he's a good body puncher. You know, Kovalev, as good as he is, that's his kryptonite. If you think Keith Thurman's kryptonite is the body, what the fuck is Kovalev? You know what I mean? That motherfucker gets folded. But we saw in Elder Alvarez, that dude could still fucking box. Like, hey, he came to Crusher because he was coming behind that jab. Don't forget that. And then, so that's a big fight for the WBO. So again, heavyweight, you got Andy Ruiz just getting it ready. You got the WBO champion Briedis in no man's land until this tournament gets back. But you got number 5 Lawrence Okolie slowly creeping up in there. You got Golovkin already promised a mandatory shot once the tournament's over. You got the WBO champion Sergey Kovalev in a mandatory going against Yarde. And then earlier mentioned WBO 168 Billy Joe Saunders. We won't talk about him again, considering we went over that. You know, he's made his move to the zone. Well, reportedly he left Queensberry, Frank Warren. Where else he's gonna sign? He ain't gonna sign no PBC. You know, that'd be crazy if he does. You know, get some Caleb Plant action, get some Eubank action, junior rematch, get some Darrell Benavidez rematch. This fight's all over for him, just now with Frank Warren. Then we're gonna drop down to 160, the WBO 160, Dimitri Andrade. What is out there for him? So you figure, with Canelo dropping his belt, you know, IBF, WBC gone. Canelo was quickly on top, and now just one belt Canelo. Does he go after the WBO champion Dimitri Andrade? Because what the fuck is he gonna do still? He left the zone to get active, to get a name, to chase Canelo. After he was over there first, but you know, I think he was over there first. Yeah. What is it? What is he gonna do? Like Golovkin, and he ain't getting Golovkin. They're not. The zone is not gonna risk Triple G getting another L before fighting Canelo again if they could prevent it. Demetrius Andrade, number 3, Atlantis Fox again. You got number 5, Luke Keeler. Fights tomorrow, folks. This is big shit. Big shit. What if Luke Keeler wins? What if he wins in dominant fashion over Luis Aries? What if he just like fucking sparks him out? You know? Body shot him, makes him stumble, fucking b-hop him to the ropes. What if he does some shit like that? What if he just flatlines Luis Aries right in fucking Belfast? And like, holy shit. The fucking crowd goes crazy. Luke Keeler got a name. Do Demetrius Andrade get him? Like, I need a name. I need a name. You figure at number 15, Janabek Alam Koholi, David Papat. I seen Papat. He's a mover, soft slapper puncher. OBD Sai, our team. Chiba Trov, Marcelo Why do Marcelo Co-Series sound familiar? I don't know. Number 10, Walter again. Number 9, Sergey. He's not getting. Now this is interesting. Making his return. And he's already at number 8. Because I think when he left, he was number 2 at super welterweight. Kanat Islam. But I think he left with some type of like bicep or chest injury. I don't want to say bacteria, but something was, I think, wrong with his arm or a leg. He had an injury and just like kind of really fucked him up. Sidetracked him for a while. He just came off that big ass hot win of beating up Brian Cook. Then I think he had one fight after that, and then he just got his injury, like a freak injury on him. He came back. I think he had a warm up fight in Kakistan. Whooped his ass. Now he's number 8 on the WBO. So I think we did a story on him like in season 1. Like his name is Kanat Isam. You know, we talked about it because I'm like the reason I talked about him. He was so high at 154. You know, my favorite fighter, Aries and Andy Lara. I'm scoping out 154. I'm scoping it out always. And then, like I said, number 6, Liam Williams. I don't know. I always forget if I think Liam Williams is Matchroom. I want to say he is, but I'm not too sure. On the zone, Demetrius Andrade, that's the type of fights he's getting. You know, like I said, these fights are good fights for the B side. Fucking Kanat Islam versus Andrade, good fight for Assam. Williams, Assad, great fight for Liam, great fight for Luke Keeler. That's 6 and 5, good fights for him. I think that overall they're good fights, but they're just not the fights that we build up Andrade to who he is, with the shit talking that he built himself up to. We want to see big fights, but the fights aren't coming there. So we're going to have to accept who he's fighting. And the options he has, I think they're good options. You know, they're not fucking put the name in bright lights and sell out the fucking city. But they're good fights. Now, he definitely needs these to be some Rhode Island fights. Put his ass back there when he fights these people. Build him up, really big fighting the people. Like I said, number 8, Kanat and Ism. Number 6, Liam Williams. Number 7, Luke Keeler. We're going to go back to number 4. Number 2, Stephen Butler. Golden Boy, the zone fight. Young, long, rangy Canadian boy. That's their little hype. So that could be a nice fight. It's already on the zone. Number 3, Atlantic Fox. And then here we are, folks, back at number 4. And I say it all the time. I find a way every episode. right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. You know what I'm about to say. When I say I find a way every episode. Number 4, Jeff Horn. Make that money fighting fucking Jeff Horn. Number 4, you got to fight Jeff Horn in Australia. Go fight Jeff Horn in Australia for the WBO strap. Then we drop on down to the super welterweight, 154. We mentioned it, Jaime Munguia. If he's not going to fight Jesse Vargas, because I got a feeling Jesse Vargas, I got a feeling Matchroom is aiming at a Terrence Crawford fight with Jesse Vargas. That's just my Mr.A's thoughts right there. What is Jaime Munguia gonna do with Golden Boy? You got Carlos Adams. Damn, Carlos is number 1. Holy shit. Carlos is number 1. You got Patrick Tatera. I see that fight. I see Golden Boy making that in-house fight. Patrick Texera. Yeah, that's gonna be a nice. And I'm not too sure if he's still with Golden Boy, but I know he's done some work with him in the past. But I think he might still be with him. I'm definitely seeing that's the next fight for Jaime Munguia before somehow Bob Arum Top Rank's gonna get in this purse bid for a Carlos Adames fight. Like I said, there's a lot of Top Rank in the zone going on, so that might be another one. Dennis Hogan was a good fight. Might be a rematch in there. You got Kell Brook under the zone. Under the zone, you got Liam Smith, a rematch. Brian Castellano, Sergio Garcia. Like I said, these fights are cool for Jaime Munguia. We still consider him green, so we don't really give a fuck who he fights. We that division 154 is only really top heavy. People know the champions and maybe like Lara, Hurd, Charlo. You know the champions and you know the former champions. That's it. Anyone else is probably considered like a bum in that fucking division. So Jaime Munguia has some fights. Carlos Adame, that's gonna be a young, rugged fight. Carlos Adame throws straighter punches, so we gotta watch out for that one. Now we drop on down to the classic, to the height. Welterweight, the WBO champion Terence Crawford. Gets a little interesting. Right here. Gets a little interesting. Now, as I previously mentioned, Terence Crawford, I've been saying through all seasons long, 1, 2, 3, and 4. On Top Rank, he is going to be desperate for some fucking fights. Desperate. Now, what's being that they're talking Spence. Obviously, this is the same blueprint used in the Mayweather Pacquiao. Whenever that's why Mayweather said, "Hey, this guy's name is always attached to mine." Whenever Bob Arum and Top Rank needed to do something for Pacquiao, they immediately start talking about Mayweather, whether it's after this fight, we want to see if Mayweather wants this fight, or we only got this fight because Mayweather won't fight us. Now they're doing it with Crawford and Spence is already saying, like, hey, I'm not fighting until I get the other Sean Porter belt, until I clean up until I beat everyone on this side. I got a lot of fighters in my PBC umbrella. I want to beat all of them. Then I go get your belt. I don't give a fuck what people say. Now, and Terence Crawford is getting desperate. ESPN Top Rank getting desperate. Aegis was looking good coming up, but that last performance, Ray Robinson, after that, it was so-so. It's the Kavalaskis train slowed down. And you figure this is where, like I said, I'm a boxing junkie just like you. I junk out. It gets a little interesting right here. Who can he fight? The Luis Collazo fight, something happened with that. Didn't happen. That was number 12. Number 9, you have Rashidi Ellis. He's on Golden Boy. Maybe they might set that up. Custo Clayton, Canadian. I don't know who is he. Castillo Clayton. Did Golden Boy just sign him as well? But I know they signed 3 Canadians. They signed Butler. I think Custo Clayton. I think if they got him. Luis Veron, the Argentinian. He ain't. They won't get that one. Mika Shonin. I think that's a South African guy. That they won't get that. Now this is where it gets interesting at. Number 4, Sergey Lipinets. He has a WBO, I think, Intercontinental belt. And nowhere on the WBO side, it's kind of known the WBO is a top ranked belt. Nowhere is there other fighter in this weight class. But he's on the Errol Spence side. Alex Vesputin is number 4. Sergey Lipinets is number 4 on the WBO. You got one PBC guy on number 4 on the Terrence Crawford fight. You got one top rank on number 4. Obviously, they're sending their fighters over into purse bid areas, trying to get their fighter on their network, but they're trying to get Spence on ESPN and hoping Vesputin can win that fight. And they really don't give a fuck where Sergey Lipinets fights. I think PBC side, they just hoping they could somehow get an upset, grab that belt, and bring it back. Whereas I think in Vesputin, they really want a purse bid. I don't think they're really counting on Vesputin upsetting Spence to bring the belt back. But it's an effort is there. Like I said, that's all Terrence Crawford really has to fight in at a top rank. Because number 1 is Egas, number 2 is Jesse Vargas, number 3 is Danny Garcia, number 4 is Sergey Lipinets. So you got number 1 a top rank guy, number 2 a zone guy, number 3, number 4 a PBCs. Like I said, Mika Shonina, I believe that's that South African guy. Luis Veron, the Argentinian. I think I forgot what WBO. I think he's WBO Latino champion. Coastal Clayton. I believe he's on the zone with Rashidi Ellis. So you got a lot of the zone guys in this bracket. So and the zone and top rank just doing the business. We just saw Terrence Crawford over on the zone. And we know they got Egas as a back burner plan. He was supposed to be high, but the fact that he's not looking so hot, it was already hard to sell Terrence Crawford and Egas Kavalauskas. The fact that his performances weren't okay, acceptable to be sold, like shit. Damn it, they were almost about willing to accept a Crawford and Kavalauskas. They were about to accept it, but fucking Kavalauskas fucked us over, and now we need to fight. Vesputin's not ranked in the WBO. Jesse Vargas. Dude, Jesse Vargas might be the bailout plan. Going on down to 140. We just saw a newly crowned 140 champion, Jose Ramirez, stopping Hooker. Now, over there, you got... Now, the one person I'm going to be keeping an eye on who I think could... You got Virgil Ortiz, who's fighting, I think, next Saturday. The youngster on Golden Boy. This is the other Canadian I think they signed. Yevis Ulis. Yes, Yevis Ulis from the Canadian. I think that's who they signed. I want to see if number 7 somehow, how soon he gets attached, or who he's going to have to go through to get up there. Because Jack Catterall, I think, is a good fighter. I think that's going to be an interesting fight if Ramirez has to fight him, number 1. Now, obviously, Victor Postol has the better name. Even has some pretty sharp credentials. It'd probably be a better name to sell. I want to see the Jack Catterall fight. I would rather see Victor Postol. I think his last fight he beat Mamoon. I fucking picked Mamoon to win that shit. He fucking froze on this big stage. I would like to see Postol maybe beat one more domestic guy. Beat the Ulysses guy. Beat the Canadian guy. Or take on the youngster Virgil Ortiz, Arnold Barbosa. Beat one of those guys. Or shit, go heads on head. Get your big eliminator fight. Victor Postol, Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri would be a nice fight. And then you drop on down to the 135 champ, Lomachenko. Now, we know he's going against Luke Campbell. That's going to be a good fight, but that's not what we're going to talk about. The great Lomachenko 135 champion, the fastest to be a 3-division champion, 12 fights, up until it was tied. That record was tied by the WBO flyweight champion, Kosi Tanaka. Who is the better champion? Who is the better pound for pound WBO champion? That's what we're going to talk about on this one. This little fun Mr.A's thought right here. We'll skip the rest of the divisions because I don't want to make the video too long. You know, we got Zolian Teti, but he's hurt, so. But we're going to end this on who is the better historic making 3-division champ. Who is it? They both became 3-division champions in 12 fights. Is it Tanaka, who never fought a losing record, opponent with a losing record? Is it Lomachenko, who done the same? You know, Lomachenko's first fight was a 10-rounder. Tanaka did 10-round his third fight. You know, if these guys were dipped in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ooze, what weight do you want them at? Do you want them at 135? Can Tanaka handle that speed and move around with them? Will Lomachenko at 112 be fast, but power won't do shit against Tanaka? Remember, Tanaka is the motherfucker with broken orbital bones. I believe that's him. 2 broken orbital bones. Came back to do some serious shit. It's a really, really good question, man. Because Tanaka, like I said, August is busy for WBO. That's why we talked about him. Tanaka is making a title defense against, I think number 1, Jonathan Gonzalez. I think. Let's look that up real fast. And you got Lomachenko. You got Lomachenko fighting at the end of the month against Luke Campbell. You even got fucking Carl Frampton, who thought he was going to get himself an Oscar Valdez. Yeah, Oscar Valdez vacated the title. And then you got the WBO featherweight Shakur Stevenson, who is going to be fighting for a vacated fight now. It's going to be against number 2, Yoet Gonzalez, who is a top-ranked fighter. I mean, a Golden Boy fighter. But then you have everyone else a fucking top rank. So at 126, Oscar Valdez gives it up. And you got Jesse Magdaleno, Carl Frampton, Michael Collin. You got 1, 3, 4, 5 top ranked fighters. But you got that Golden Boy number 2 stuck in the middle right there. So interesting to see who gets that call out. But it's good to see that Valdez, you know. It's funny though, because that purse bid was issued to be on August 2nd. There was no extension asked for. They just gave that shit up. Like, no, we don't want it. We don't want to fight Shakur. We do not want to fight Shakur. We're going to give it up. We're going to give that shit up. You got Emmanuel Navarrete at the WBO. I think he might be fighting as well too. It's a busy month for the WBO. But like I said, back down to 112. Tanaka is fighting on. He is fighting on the, I think the 24th. Where are we at? Flyweight. Where are we at, Tanaka? Where are we at? The 24th, Jonathan Gonzalez. So that's going to be a very nice, interesting fight there to see. Like I said, these guys are still fucking the quickest 3-division champions, and they're fighting a week apart. So we're going to have an opportunity to compare these historic fighters, and we will be back to discuss that most likely at the first week of September, since the Lomachenko fights in the 30th first, and Tanaka fights the 21st. But we will discuss that. September, within the first week of September, we're going to compare these historic fighters right here on the RRT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Thank you for your time and support. We are done.